Welcome to this week's Market Signals presented by Career Angels. I have started to think about renaming the weekly Market Signals to the roller coaster that is 2020. As you know, we've started tracking the number of published job ads on LinkedIn back in week 13. We then extended it from 18 to 36 countries in week 15 and then to cover the European Union in week 17. And for those who have listened to at least a couple of videos or have been reading the reports, this year has been a roller coaster, especially the last 2 to 3 weeks. And the way that I've been the bearer of bad news, I'm this week the bearer of good news for the, second time in the last, since we've started collecting data, we have all green numbers, which is good. Looking at the weekly change, the European Union has added 500,000 job ads on LinkedIn. So overall good news. Let's look at the details. If you're interested, we are looking at and we're tracking the weekly changes of 9 regions in Europe. Those are Visegrad countries, the Baltic states, Northern Europe, Southeastern Europe, Western Europe, the DACH region and the Benelux countries. And as you can see here on the graph, usually the regions agree to disagree, so it's definitely not homogeneous. Now looking at the European Union in week 40, we see an increase of plus 25.08%, which is almost 1 million more job ads compared to the initial week 17. So good news, and since last week we see an increase of plus 11.65%. The worst result was for many weeks in Southeastern Europe as a region, and they have now become the winning region after week 40. They have published 57,712 job ads more than the week before. So that's very good. And Southern Europe, as we define it, is Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. One of the best results was noted in Lithuania. When we look at a country by country level, they have experienced an increase of plus 71.81%. Now, looking at some interesting facts, looking at the DACH region, here the countries are finally in alignment, and Austria, Germany, and Switzerland have, they agree that we have an upward trend. Likewise, the BENELUX countries are also in agreement, but they see a downward trend. When we talk about losers and interesting facts, this gives us leeway to the losers of the week. In week 40, all the regions had positive results, but the worst positive results were achieved by the Baltic state with only plus 0.35%. And Austria noted the worst results as compared to the initial week 15. Do not confuse that with the weekly index. Looking at the overall result, week 15 to week 40, Austria is down almost 1/3 of job ads, or between 1/4 and a third of job ads, so minus 27.95%. So if you're an experienced manager or an executive who needs support in managing those unpredictable times and that VUCA market, feel free to get in touch with us to request a CV report or a career consultation completely free of charge, non-binding and fully confidential. And for some might be wondering if this is a good time to be looking for a job. Yes, it is. Autumn usually is. Companies now have a couple of months to close their financial years by the end of the year. So there are still budgets to be spent, recruitment processes to be finished. Some decisions have been made who needs to be replaced at the board level, who is fit and who is not fit to lead their companies during those, unprecedented times, at least looking at the last years. If you are actively looking, I would also recommend you to join our group on LinkedIn called the Hidden Job Market. Every week we select international job ads where we have the feeling that international candidates are welcome to apply. For example, this week, Louis Vuitton is looking to hire an EMEA client development director. Amazon is looking for a principal finance analyst based in Slovakia, and Sandoz is looking for a P&O head in Belgium. If you want more, follow us. Follow our showcase page called Market Signals. As you know, this is only a sneak peek. On Saturdays in the afternoon, we publish the full report that includes all the countries and regions and qualitative interviews that we run with executives, HR directors, and executive search consultants. And for daily content, tips, and advice, follow our company page called Career Angels. I hope to see you next week, and I hope to be able to be the bearer of good news again next week.